Hello, and thank you for watching my video. Today we're going to be talking about a change to Guild Wars 2 that came in with Heart of Thorns, and that's the changes to Fractals. Now, Fractals of the Mist were supposed to be the top-end dungeon. Now, let me give you my experience of Fractals of the Mists. Fractals of the Mist was a dungeon that I started playing. You needed Ascended Armor, you needed Agony Infusions, and over the 2 years that it was out, I actually gained all that. And I was doing levels 50 and 40 every day to try and get that Ascended Armor chest or the Fractal Weapon. Because usually you'd be guaranteed a Fractal Weapon, a Ascended Ring, or an Ascended Weapon / Armor chest. You might be unlucky and get nothing, but it was a really good way to earn rewards. Looking back, I am so glad I did this. It has become extremely expensive to buy and to build Ascended Armor. It is really gone up in price how much it takes to build that stuff. And I was farming Ascended Fractals for a couple of months, and I was earning a lot of good armor pieces. Just to give you an idea, I now have an Elementalist that has fully Ascended Armor. I have a Warrior that has fully Ascended Armor. I have a 2 Revenants with fully Ascended Armor. I have an Engineer with fully Ascended Armor. I have a Necromancer with fully Ascended Armor. I have 6 characters with fully Ascended Armor, and if I was to do that right now, wow, we're talking a lot of gold. I mean, I would say it costs around 150 gold or 100 gold for one armor piece now. That's fundamentally changed because of how much they've changed the material dynamics. One thing a lot of people realized was silk was ridiculously expensive compared to a lot of other materials. You needed bolts of damask in heavy armor, in light armor, and that's actually changed. They've changed it where you need actually a lot of leather. They've brought the price of leather up to be a bit more balanced now. I can understand why they've done that, but it just generally has forced prices up. And with the amount of gold in the game, that is a way that ArenaNet are trying to make sure that inflation doesn't get too high. And so you can see the logic why they've done it. But let's go back to Fractals. This was the Fractals that I used to play and really enjoyed. And they've made huge changes. They've brought in so many collections. They've changed Fractals. Instead of being 50, the highest amount, it's now well over 100. Or it's over 100. It's 100. And you need a lot more agony resistance. And they've actually brought in new sections, whereas before you would only have 1 agony infusion slot. They've actually doubled that to 2 now. So you can still get a decent amount of agony resistance. But what about the Fractals themselves? Well, there's no big difference. They haven't introduced any new Fractals. What they have done, instead of doing 4 Fractals, you now only do 1. On the plus side, that's actually made it really quick. You can actually go through them really, really quick indeed. And you get these Fractal boxes that you need keys to unlock with. It's not too bad, but also you actually get Ascended Salvaging now as well. Again, you can actually make a little bit of gold from that. But generally, Fractals, how do they feel? So, Fractals are now a lot more user-friendly and friendly to those of new players. Let me give you an example. Actual players playing the game, they'd do the core story, they'd reach level 80, they'd finish killing Zaitan, and then they'd go and do dungeons and start doing Escalon Catacombs, and then they'd slowly move on to Fractals. Well, now, because of the changes to dungeons are a bit more irrelevant now. And instead, you can get new players actually come straight in to Fractals when they hit level 80. It's a lot more welcoming. The lower levels are really fairly easy to do. In fact, I was actually doing a Fractal with someone else while we were waiting, and we actually got 3/4 of the way through Fractal, the actual Fractal, with just 2 of us. And so it can be pretty easy to do. And that's actually a good thing. I think it's much more open. Being much more quicker with only 1 Fractal is beneficial to those new players. Obviously, the changes to Agony Infusions, you do need a lot more. And the prices of that have actually come down a fair amount. But there's actually a lot more collections that you can do. There's a new Fractal weapons that you can get. And generally, I think the changes to Fractals have been a positive. I do think that the higher level ones should have been bumped up to 4 levels of Fractals, just so you actually have to go through the 4 and actually make it as a time constraint. I like the fact it would take me 45 minutes, a day to do a Fractal run, because it made it feel worthwhile. Now, it's 1 Fractal, it can be over in 10 minutes. Think about the Molten Facility one where you're fighting the 2 bosses. You can be over in 5 minutes. It's very, very quick indeed. But generally, changes to Fractals, I'd say, have been a positive. I like the new changes. I like the things that have been brought in. Obviously, you've got the opportunity to create a legendary backpack. So overall, I love the changes to Fractals. There are a few issues, the length of time and some of the rewards aren't particularly great, but ArenaNet can change that. So I'd like your opinions on this. What do you think about Fractals? If you've never done Fractals before, has it made you more interested in doing them? If you didn't really do them before, are you doing them more now? If you did them before and you're really disappointed with the Fractal rewards, are you doing them less? It'd be great to hear your thoughts on this. Please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.